What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue, and it's that time of the year where everybody goes crazy over pumpkin everything, and I had a request by one of my friends to come up with a pumpkin recipe. I thought that going the dessert route might be a little too easy. I'm not lying. I'm not much of a baker. So what I'm going to be making, I'm going to be knocking out some pumpkin meatballs. Anyway, I think this is going to be incredible. Why don't you guys come on in and take a look at what I'm working with, and then we will knock these things out. Now, as far as this recipe goes, we're going to be kind of winging it a little bit, so there's not going to be a real recipe to this. If you know how to make meatballs, you'll know how to kind of adjust this. Anyway, what we're going to start off with is I have some ground pork and ground beef. Not sure how much I'm going to need of this, but we have some pumpkin puree. Well, not pumpkin puree, just pumpkin, canned pumpkin. I have some, okay, this is something that's new. I don't really use it, but my sister, when she passed away, she had a bunch of different kind of stuff. One of the things she had was honey granules, so we're going to do is sweeten it up with this as opposed to some sugar. We have some toasted plain breadcrumbs. I have a homemade pumpkin pie spice, some salt and white pepper, eggs, and the coup de grace is going to be this pumpkin molasses barbecue sauce. Anyway, those are our ingredients. What I'm going to do is let this meat come to room temperature. Then we're going to start mixing it up. I'm not sure if I mentioned the eggs, but we're going to have a couple eggs in there as well. Meat at about room temperature. If you hear some barking in the background, I got these two little dogs. I think they're protecting the entire neighborhood, so I'm going to apologize for that in advance. So we are starting off with, this is, and I'm probably going to be able to freeze some of this, but I definitely bought it because it was on sale. We have 36 ounces of ground beef. And we have 24 ounces of pork. We're just going to mix that in. We're going to put them in the same deal. I'm going to, let's add our pumpkin pie spice, our salt and our white pepper. Now, I'm not sure how much of this pumpkin puree I'm going to need, but I do think I'm going to at least want to rock with 1 can at a minimum. And try not to get it everywhere when you do it. There we go. And these this honey granules, we're going to go ahead, that's going to be where our sweet's going to come from. And our barbecue sauce is going to kind of come down the road, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that aside. Now, with my bare hands, and feel free to use gloves if you'd like. I'm just not a hippie like that, but if you are, feel free to do it. But we're going to mix this in with our hands. We're going to add, let's just say about a cup of our breadcrumbs. We're going to get in here. We're going to mix this in real good. And once we get it kind of mixed in, we're going to go ahead and add our egg to it. Now, I was thinking about adding some pumpkin seed to this actually, but I figured that would be just taking it a little too far. I could tell I'm probably going to need some pumpkin pie spice, but let's see how we look after we add a couple eggs. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish mixing this up and get back with you. We've got our meat mixture all mixed up. Now, before we get to making the meatballs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to thin this barbecue sauce out a little bit so I have a little bit of butter in this pan. And I'm going to add the barbecue sauce to it. And if you're interested in it, I don't know if you have a Sprouts in your neighborhood, but that's a Sprouts brand right there. And to be honest with you, if there's anything left over, I'm going to re-jar it, maybe use them on some ribs. We're going to be doing this in the oven, which is going to be a little bit different The person that asked me about this recipe, I don't think that they're into barbecuing, so we're just gonna do this in the oven. So, have our meat mixture mixed up, and we're just gonna be going for meatballs about yay big, really not, kind of on the smaller side. And it looks like I'm probably gonna have a couple pans of this, and what I'm gonna do is we're gonna end up freezing some of these for later. Looks like we're gonna end up with maybe about 2.5 pans, so I'm alright with that. And I have my oven preheating to 400 degrees. What we're going to do is throw this in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. When they are done, we'll pull it out and get them glazed up. 25 minutes ago I took these meatballs out of the oven. I wanted to get them to room temperature so when I dunk them in this barbecue sauce, it'll stick. I did taste one of these without the pumpkin barbecue sauce on it, and it has a really nice kind of a pumpkin nutmeg-ish type of flavor, so let's try not to get splatters everywhere. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to dunk all these just to get this glaze on here. Then we're going to throw it back in the oven. I did turn the oven off, but I'm going to turn it back up to just 250 degrees just to kind of set this barbecue sauce, and then at that point it is going to be a done deal. So here's what our meatballs look like. I just glazed them down, threw them in the oven for about 20 minutes at like 250 I believe was the temperature, just something low just to set the glaze on it. Now we're going to taste it and see what is up. Are ready to eat. I know it's been a while since some of you guys have seen our taste tester over here, but we have Twinkle Toes himself, Mr. Head Ester. Anyway, time for us to dig in, get our thoughts. What's it taste like?
The glaze on the outside is a little sweet, goes great with the meatball. It's nice and juicy.
What does it taste like? Do you know?
Couldn't really give you the flavor of the meatball.
It's pumpkin.
Oh.
Anyway, how does it taste?
Oh, that tastes good.
Alright, he couldn't identify it, but it is a pumpkin meatball. Does taste good. Give it a shot if you want something outside the box. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.